For over 100 years, Disney reigned supreme over the entertainment industry. What was once a small cartoon studio turned into a billion-dollar corporate empire. Disney has dominated not just the entertainment, but also changed culture as we know it. But as Isaac Newton once said, what goes up must come down. Alright, so this is the Acolyte trailer. To be honest, I never seen it before. This is my first reaction, bro. So, you know, pray to God they don't fucking copyright strike me.
Close your eyes.
Morgan Freeman?
Your eyes can deceive you.
Alright, so I can see that all these people are women, bro. You know, the force is female type shit, man, going on, bro. I'm praying to God they don't mess this up.
We must not trust them.
That's who?
Tell me what comes into your mind.
Life. Balance.
What are those dreads, bro? Hold on. Nah, bro. You got the Timo ad dreads, bro. Them dreads are atrocious. What the hell happened to your locks, bro? You got like a reverse mullet. Nah, that shit's... nah, that shit ain't it, bro.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense.
Ah, bro, what the fuck? Oh my god, comb over dreads, bro. Just give me a break, man. Like, seriously, man. I swear, God, like, I never seen a nigga walk out the house with comb over dreads. I never seen a black man outside walking with comb over dreads. It's always in commercials or some shit, man. But ever since Killmonger popped up in like Black Panther, bro, comb over dreads are just everywhere, man. Fuck that shit, man.
What happened?
I sensed darkness.
What is that?
A nigga again.
What is that?
Ah, bro, like, I went with barrels, red back. You're going with Teacher and Twist, bro. Come over, Dreads Gang. There's some, like, honestly, bro, that's some corporate shit. Like, in the future, you're gonna allow dreads in the office and, like, oh, you know, dreads are not professional, but there's that one strange style. They can't come over dreads. I'd rather go bald than that shit, man. Fuck that shit. Alright, honestly, I don't care, bro. Alright, so I just rewatched the trailer and honestly, it didn't look that bad. Besides the comb over dreads. I did some digging. I was curious about what was wrong about the trailer and why everyone hated it. With a simple Google search, I searched up the director, Leslye Headland. According to Google, she's an American film and television director, producer, screenwriter, and playwright. She's known for the play and the 2012 film Bachelorette and 2015 film Sleeping with Other People. She's co-created the Netflix series Russian Doll with Natasha Lyonne and Amy Poehler. If you don't know those names, Natasha is known for her roles in American Pie and my personal favorite, Orange is the New Black on Netflix. And Amy is famously known for her roles in Mean Girls and Parks and Rec, which is an impressive resume from the looks of it. She worked with big names in the industry, and she happens to be very, very passionate about Star Wars.
When I saw Frozen as a grown ass woman, I cried through the entire movie. There was just something.
Imagine sitting in the movie theaters and you see like this 30-something-year-old woman. You look 40 personally, but you know, just crying in a movie theater full of children and shit. I just can't imagine that shit. I mean, I can understand that for the Lion King.
About the relationship between the sisters, the like de-villainization of the classic kind of fairy tale bad guy, you know, the concept of true love being between two sisters and not a heterosexual relationship. Like it just destroyed me completely. And I thought, gosh, you know,
that really destroyed you, bro? Like the movie that destroyed me personally, and I cried for the first time, was The Green Mile, bro. Like that execution scene and shit. Oh my fucking god, bro. Another movie that made me like cry and shit was The Lion King. But you know, I gotta understand, like I was only 8 years old, bro. Yeah, the scene where Simba's dad dies, bro, like younger, bro. I don't know why, bro. But you know, that made me cry.
I would love to make something like this that is, you know, for lack of a better term, Disney, meaning it's something that like my parents would have allowed me to see when I was younger as a queer person.
Gotcha.
But I would have been able to understand as a queer person, and I think I would have had a completely different life.
I don't understand. I don't get that.
I really was inspired by it and was like, God, I would love to make a story like this. And so when I was developing this original idea to pitch to Kathleen, I thought, well,
Kathleen's like the president of Lucasfilm.
you know, it can't just be that. You know, when you're pitching Star Wars, you have to pull from what, you know, George was also interested in. Like, it can't
So basically, it's just a fan fiction with Star Wars in it.
just be like, well, I'm referencing, especially if you're going to set something, you know, during the High Republic or end of High Republic into prequels, you don't have the Skywalker saga. Like, you can't reference a character that was created by George and or Filoni. Like, you have to create your own new characters.
Now, from the looks of it, it seems like we have a Rachel Zegler moment. As the more and more she pictures the show in interviews, the more and more she pisses off the audience.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So we didn't do that this time.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
For all these woke directors being hired into like Disney and like Star Wars and stuff like that, we can all point the finger to Kathleen Kennedy for this. Kathleen Kennedy, the president of Lucasfilm, started the Force is female narrative in recent Star Wars movies. Just to let you know, Kathleen isn't some nobody. The first film she produced was with Steven Spielberg, E.T., and the first 2 Jurassic Park movies, so she's a veteran in the game. Now, she's responsible for hiring these woke activists without any film experience to write these trash movies, bro, which tank at the box office every single year. No wonder Disney lost over $1 billion last year. I'm all for representation, man. I get it. When I see people that look like me on the big screen, like Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, Will Smith in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury. But nowadays, Star Wars focus on more of the identity politics rather than like writing an actual story. They don't cater to the average Star Wars audience anymore. They cater to an audience who wouldn't even dare to think,
oh, let's watch some Star Wars.
it's like, nah, just Star Wars would never come across their mind ever. The only time Star Wars ever crossed their mind is when they're making fun of it. And when that movie comes out, that made by the woke filmmakers and stuff like that, it tanks. And what they do?
Yo, I hate the fan base is bigoted, sexist, misogynist.
Call them every name in the book, bro. And the next day, see the backlash on their social medias. It's like,
Oh, why you guys are so rude and mean to us? Like, we made you content and stuff like that. Why are you not consuming it?
like, you called us all those names and expect us to be nice to you back, bro? You really think they did shit? Bro, like, you're not even the fart, bro. So the main selling point of this is being woke and featuring like, oh, being like a queer based show and stuff like that, which I have no problem with that. But for some people that might be off-putting and stuff like that, because, you know, it's a really touchy subject and not everyone's on the same side as you politically, you know what I'm saying? I read some like articles and stuff like that, like, you know, the show features a lot of like queer and like LGBTQ actors, which I have no problem with that, but made that the main premise of the show. Yeah, I don't really think that it appeals to everybody, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can still feature those people in the TV show and stuff like that, but don't make it their whole personality, you know what I'm saying? They're acting like there haven't been any gay media in film like ever. I can name you an example, like, you know, Orange is the New Black, Glee, Love Simon, and Call Me By Your Name. They didn't hyper focus on the characters just being gay, making it a political stance, or undermining other groups of people. What makes a movie so great is the storytelling, character development, the rise and fall, and makes you so invested in what you're watching that it makes you escape from reality, forget about your problems, and makes you feel so invested in what you're watching. For example, I love the TV show Orange is the New Black. At some times in the series, I can find myself relating to the main character, Piper Chapman, a prisoner in Litchfield Prison. Despite not being gay, a lesbian, or a woman, or being sent to jail, I can have empathy for her as she faces the consequences of her actions, despite going against her moral compass, but being a means to survival. In life, we all have to do things that we don't want to do. If not, the consequences will be far worse. Not just affecting you, but also the people around you who care for you and depend on you. In the show, in her head, she knows what she's doing wrong, all means to survival. If she hadn't followed through with her plans, she ended up far worse place, far worse than prison. Unlike Piper Chapman, who faces personal dilemmas, the new recent Star Wars films just feature Mary Sue's and just pandering to a certain audience. Mind you, they don't even appeal to Star Wars or think Star Wars is cool or interesting. The new characters have no struggle, no internal conflict, no dog in them, bro. Which makes all the recent films so boring, bro. But just by watching the Star Wars Acolyte trailers and interviews, Headland is just like basically just writing a fan fiction at this point. Like, there's nothing wrong with that identity politics and pandering stuff. Like, if you want to do that, just create a new entire franchise and cater that to that audience instead. Like, Star Wars has been around for 47 years. And there's like multiple generations, bro, that love and cherish Star Wars. So for you to do that, that's just like a slap in the face for all the previous generations and stuff like that. Even for George Lucas, who created the show from the ground up. This comes from a person who loved Star Wars when I was younger. I remember being obsessed with the Star Wars, the Clone Wars series on like Cartoon Network when I was a kid. Then my cousin Jeff called me a nerd for liking that shit. Basically calling me pussy repellent. In some cases, that could have been my path, bro. Like, honestly, like, I was like low-key getting into it and getting obsessed with it. And he said like, nah,
bro. Like, I see all those kids in high school like in Star Wars. They nerds, bro. I ain't gonna turn into one.
Jeff, if you're watching this, I thank you for that, bro. Anyways, for the past few years when I was like getting into high school and stuff like that, when Disney bought Star Wars and put it on their like Disney Plus platforms, I was excited, low-key. Like, I remember when the Force Awakens movie back in 2015 came out, I saw it in the theaters, I loved it. I watched The Last Jedi, where my love for the series quickly died. A few years later, my friends were talking about a new Star Wars animated series on Disney Plus, which I'm a sucker for animated series, man. The show is called The Bad Batch, and the final season is coming out this year. I'm not gonna spoil it, but you know, it's worth binging, man. I loved it beginning to end. I liked the first season of The Mandalorian till the second and third season, and they just like dropped the ball, bro. Have to fit the standards of like the modern day audience and stuff like that, which the modern day audience don't even like that shit, bro. It just turned woke, and honestly it's a bit boring now in my opinion, but it's solid nonetheless. The first season, the rest, no. Nowadays, movie fans can't enjoy franchises anymore because big studios are just pandering to an audience that isn't their fan base. Like, if you want to make boatloads of cash and money like a franchise like Star Wars, it would make sense to market to a diehard fan base who base their entire lives around that franchise. I don't want to come off as homophobic or anything. I said that like a billion times, but I gotta make sure you guys know. I want to know how you feel about the recent Star Wars series coming out and the films coming out today. Now, I'm sorry for like not uploading for a month. It's my first year of college, and it's really kicking my ass right now, dude. And also, my boss be calling me in on my days off and shit. I'm like, dude, really? Like, I pull all-nighter on the essay, and it's my day off. I'll be sleeping, all of a sudden, my ringtone goes off. It's like, hey, man, EO, we need you in the shop right now, man. I'm like, damn. Anyways, I'm done yapping. Make sure you subscribe, or you hate the basketball people.
Yeah, put up in time.